This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a man in his 60s is dead after being shot by police in Kura late last night. A new place to call home has been officially given a name in Queenstown. And the public are invited to a free Devonshire tea and to smell the roses at Dunedin North Cemetery. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. A man in his 60s is dead after being shot by police in Kura, North Otago late last night. Police say at a press conference the man held and presented a firearm at police before he was shot.
A man making threats to harm himself prompted a call-out from police to Freiburg Avenue in Kudau around 9 p.m. last night. Police spent a couple of hours talking with the man.
However, unfortunately, 11:50 p.m. the man confronted the police at the address. He was armed with a firearm and he was shot once.
Acting District Commander, Southern District Inspector Daryl Sweeney says the man was shot after he held and presented a firearm at police. Police responded firing one shot at the man.
The man was given immediate medical attention by our people on the ground in Kudau. A helicopter was called and he was medevaced to Dunedin Hospital. Unfortunately, in the early hours of the morning, he died.
One local resident who did not want to be named say they had known the man for several years and described him as a quiet and very nice guy. Police say he wasn't known to them and this is never a desirable outcome.
To be really clear that a fatal shooting is an outcome that nobody in the police wants and nor in the community. But unfortunately, this event escalated in front of our people.
Inspector Sweeney says he's not able to say if the man's gun was loaded. The Independent Police Conduct Authority has been notified of the incident and a critical incident investigation was also underway. In Otago, the South Today.
Dunedin City councillors are to consider sanctions against Lee Vandervis at a council meeting next week. Councillor Vandervis was the subject of a code of conduct complaint following a discussion about a parking ticket with a council staff member at the Customer Service Agency in September. An independent report into the incident has been made public this week, finding Councillor Vandervis breached the council's code of conduct on 3 counts. Lee Vandervis can attend Tuesday's meeting and make a statement in his defence, but will only be allowed to observe after that. Alternatively, Councillor Vandervis could be asked to take actions, such as an apology which can avoid the need for sanctions. Councillors could even decide to invite him to consider resigning as a councillor. A new place to call home has been officially given a name in Queenstown. The former Wakatipu High School site will now be known as Te Pā Tahuna. Tahuna is the Māori name for the resort, while Pā reflects the idea of a safe and permanent home.
Ngāi Tahu Properties' planned 300-plus housing development on the Wakatipu High School site has been blessed and given its new name. Ngāi Tahu Property Chief Executive David Kennedy says the council has stood beside the company for a long time while it worked with the Crown to make the project work.
It's not always nice to say thank you for leaving, but Wakatipu High School, thank you for leaving and welcome back today.
Former Ngāi Tahu Chief Executive Tahu Potiki, who passed away in August, was honoured for his work with the project. Queenstown Lakes District Mayor Jim Bolt says he's delighted with the property being used in this way.
Really look forward to the community coming alive, look forward to being part of it, congratulate Ngāi Tahu Property, everybody involved with it.
Both the council and Ngāi Tahu are pleased to be working together on the project. Jim Bolt says working with mana whenua has resulted in a shared vision which is set to influence the development at large. Te Pā Tahuna is set to provide warm and comfortable homes for Queenstown residents and is set to include 100 Kiwi-built homes. In Queenstown, the South Today.
5 arrests have been made after traffic offending in East Tairi. Multiple police cruisers can be seen arriving and leaving the property. A spokeswoman says police were called to a report of traffic offending in East Tairi around midday. Shortly afterwards, the vehicle was located and 5 youths were arrested. With the help of a police dog, several people are seen being escorted back to the police vehicles. One person is due to appear in youth court. People in Dunedin over the weekend are being invited to visit Dunedin North Cemetery and smell the roses this weekend. Heritage Roses Otago are celebrating the replanting of more than 400 heritage roses at the cemetery after a large number were killed off in an herbicide incident 3 years ago.
Heritage Roses Otago convener Fran Rawling admiring the blooms on one of more than 400 roses replanted at the Dunedin North Cemetery. She says the care of the cemetery's roses began after the group found some very old roses growing there.
Some members discovered some old roses up here, so we started exploring it a bit more closely, and we found some roses that had been planted with their first burials.
Over the last 2 decades, the volunteers have tended the roses and planted many additional ones. While it was very disappointing to have more than 500 roses killed with herbicide 3 years ago, the New Zealand National Register of Heritage Roses has helped them find replacements. And the group have been busy with working bees, such as this one in the middle of last year, to restore the cemetery to its former glory.
That's probably a project that will take 5 or 6 years, or even more for some of them. But we have begun to replace a lot of the very, very rare roses that we have here.
Rawling says looking after the hundreds of roses in the cemetery is not a straightforward job.
It's not only planting, it's finding them, propagating them, doing the database, keeping all our records going.
Heritage Roses Otago are very pleased with how the roses have done, and they are inviting the public to come and have a look this weekend.
We will provide a free Devonshire tea, we'll provide guided tours, we'll provide a presentation about our work in the cemetery over the last 20 years and a little bit about the history of the cemetery. And we'll have a display table of the different types of roses and some material that we publish.
The cemetery will be open for tours from 10 to 5 on both Saturday and Sunday, with Saturday looking likely to be warm and sunny. In Dunedin, the south today.
Still to come on the south today, we have spectacular images of water being spilled from Clyde Dam, and we check out Kmart's wishing tree in Dunedin, where donations are down on previous years. So see you after the break.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
It's that time of year when we all spend time with our family and friends. Please enjoy Christmas, but keep an eye out for the people who are struggling and may need a helping hand. My office closes on the 20th of December, opens on the 13th of January. Have a great summer, a great Christmas.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Merry Christmas everyone. Have a happy and safe new year from everyone at Garador, Dunedin.
Welcome back. A warning has been issued after floodgates were opened at Clyde Dam to discharge excess water yesterday. Contact Energy was spilling about 1,700 cubic metres per second, twice their normal amount. Otago Harbour Master Steve Rushbrook advised recreational boat users, kayakers and swimmers to stay out of swollen rivers and lakes containing hazardous floating and submerged debris. The open floodgates created water swells, providing an eye-catching photo opportunity for onlookers. The region has been hit by heavy rainfall and rising water levels this week. At this time of the year, many people hold appeals to help those less fortunate. The Kmart Wishing Tree Appeal is in its 14th year, and the woman behind it says so far donations are down on previous years.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, no one was stirring, not even a mouse. The poem attributed to Clement Clark Moore in the 19th century could be ringing true if donations to Kmart's annual Wishing Tree Appeal are anything to go by.
We're down quite a bit on last year. For about the same period last year, at week 4, we had 1,100 gifts. I've done a count this morning and we're at 660, so quite a bit down.
Dawn Barnes has been the angel behind the Wishing Tree Appeal for many years and puts the roughly 40% drop in donated gifts down to a variety of factors.
I think because there are more appeals going, like different sorts of ones. I know the Hits have got their anything and everything collection going on, and that will impact things like this. But hey, 660 gifts is still a fantastic effort, and we're grateful for each and every gift because it means that we're helping more families and giving them a nice Christmas.
The Salvation Army is due to distribute the gifts, and Barnes says some things have changed over the years, including the beginning of a Wishing Tree Appeal at their Invercargill store, but she says there are also a few things that have stayed the same.
In some ways it's changed a lot, but then in other ways it hasn't. We've still got amazing customers that year after year still come in and donate gifts, and we've got new ones coming in as well. We had the other day, I think it was the Grants Bros Brownies, came in and the children went shopping and put some gifts under the tree.
She says people can either bring in homemade gifts, items bought elsewhere, or items bought from their store. They're receiving donations at Wishing Trees until Christmas Eve, and some are set to be distributed by the Salvation Army, while others will go into storage for later need. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, several lakefront Wanaka businesses managed to stay open, but many are closed after their sewage connections were cut. And we have the weekend's weather for you, so stay with us.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
In my young life, I've learned how to accept Christmas is a great time for all the family and friends to get together. There's no harm in indulging in a little bit of alcohol and food. What we've got to realise is you need to moderate in everything you do in life, so we don't over-excess anything to create problems in your life. So I wish you a great Happy New Year and a prosperous 2020.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Hi there, it's that time of year again, and we're proud to bring you the coverage of the Santa Parade, starring me and lots of others. Brought to you by the good people at Alex Campbell Menswear.
Thanks for staying with us. Several lakefront Wanaka businesses that had managed to keep operating despite flood risk preparations were forced to close their doors yesterday afternoon when their sewage connections was cut. Queenstown Lakes District Council made the decision to shut down the sewer at 5 p.m. yesterday as a precautionary measure to stop the risk of sewage entering and contaminating the lake. More heavy rain was expected near the headwaters of Otago lakes and rivers between 9 a.m. yesterday and 8 a.m. tomorrow. Council had made sandbags available at Wanaka, Queenstown, Glenorchy and Kingston yesterday. Otago Regional Council says Lake Wanaka's levels could increase, but are still well short of the January 2013 peak. In the lead up to Christmas, we're taking a look back at the news highlights over the last 12 months. Tertiary institutions opened their doors to students in February, with one agricultural college only starting classes after an 11th hour reprieve. The Dunedin community was shocked with the grisly discovery of a body on a roadside, as well as the sadistic stabbing of a miniature horse. And a young swimmer completed a successful crossing of the Fovo Strait.
After several weeks of delay, students were invited in February to start classes at the Telford Farm Institute near Balclutha. This came after the Southern Institute of Technology took over the running of the struggling agricultural college.
I think it's really important to celebrate the start of the year. It's been a delayed start, and of course there's been a lot of uncertainty for a number of weeks, and so it's really important that we make a big statement to the students that they're really welcome here and we're pleased to be opening.
Later on, in August, the government announced a funding boost for Telford of nearly $5 million over 2 years. And University of Otago students also celebrated the start of the year with orientation, which included the annual toga party. Unidentified artists used flotsam and driftwood to create mysterious sculptures at Tairi Mouth. Further north, Dunedin City Council art advisor Lisa Wilkie said anonymous art was welcomed in the region.
They're creative, they're using material that's already found there, they're temporary, and as long as they're not endangering somebody's health or blocking access to the beach, you know, I think they're a wonderful thing to see.
Police arrested 2 people in connection with a body found near a road north of Dunedin, as well as a blood-splattered crime scene in the Dunedin suburb of St Clair.
There is a male who's been arrested. He's 37 years of age and he will be charged with murder. The second person is a woman aged 30 years and she's being charged with accessory to murder.
The Dunedin community was also shocked when a miniature horse in Waitati named Star died from multiple stab wounds, despite efforts from veterinarians.
It's absolutely deplorable, and we look to hold the persons identified to account, because we all have pets, and it's not acceptable in any way, shape or form.
I think a minute's silence for the death of the little horse is perhaps in order, but you may not think so. I'm sure that everyone in Dunedin is absolutely horrified about this event.
Can I say that all of us share your considerable concern that there are people or a person or people in our community that would do something like that. It is of grave concern.
Possibly children.
Glad they're not mine.
The case against a man accused of stabbing Star is ongoing. Endangered kakapo chicks on the sanctuary of Codfish Island were taken from their nests for hand rearing in the hope the adult birds would lay a second round of eggs to help boost the population.
The goal is normally to get chicks or eggs back into nests, but what they've done this year is they've taken all the eggs and actually shut the nests down, and the hope is that the mothers will then go and find a boy again and mate again and lay more eggs. And it's worked, it's happening. They're double clutching.
20-year-old Hannah Morgan travelled back to Bluff the easy way after swimming across to Stewart Island.
I'm just so overwhelmed with everyone's support and encouragement and kindness and generosity, and it's just, I could never have imagined such an outcome, and I'm just so grateful.
And the Queenstown Lakes Community Housing Trust finished the first of 6 houses for qualifying families.
The biggest part of owning this home is to give us a security now on having our own home, unlike before we were renting.
The scheme sees the families able to purchase the houses through a 100-year lease, with the trust keeping ownership of the land in perpetuity.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A man in his 60s is dead after being shot by police in Kura late last night, after he pointed a gun at police. A new place to call home has been officially given a name in Queenstown on the former Wakatipu High School site. And the public are invited to a free Devonshire tea and to smell the roses at Dunedin North Cemetery, as some heritage roses are on display. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Mel. Well, it's a weekend edition, so plenty of reading in that. We head off with the former Mayor of Dunedin, Dave Cole, has been appointed Chairman of the Southern District Health Board, and he says he is ready for the challenge. So we have that story on our front page tomorrow. Dunedin City Councillors will consider sanctions against one of their own when the findings of an investigation into behaviour by Councillor Lee Vandervis are debated next week. As you mentioned earlier, the Currell man shot by police on Thursday was a respected worldwide as a fishing guide and a friend to many, according to a close friend and former co-worker. Yes, of course it is. And of course, the first of the series of most recent graduations at the University of Otago start this Saturday. So we have stories on that and some good, nice stories about people graduating and how they got there. And of course, we have the full list. So if everybody goes out and buys a newspaper that's on that list, we'll be very happy. Wanaka and Queenstown, as you also mentioned, are making preparations for rising floodwaters. There's sandbagging and clearing off debris, so a lot of action up there, and I'm not sure if the weather is looking too good for the weekend, so there's some dark, stormy clouds up there, so fingers crossed that they avoid any significant damage.
Yeah, because it's not what they want to start the full-on tourist Christmas season.
Well, it's supposed to be summer, isn't it, or nearly?
Well, I thought it was.
Yeah,
Apparently
exactly.
so.
Yeah, we can't have that.
No, not at all. So
Right.
lovely. So you
Thank
can
you.
catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time to look at and see just what is happening with the weekend's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, a snapshot of St Clair Beach at sunrise taken by Tony Ryder. Looking at the situation, strong westerly winds will tend to get cooler and become southwesterly from Sunday, with rain or showers clearing from most areas. Lighter winds and finer weather lining up for next week. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for cloudy skies, a shower or two, and possibly thunder with a high of 18 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect the odd cloud, showers and the chance of thunder also, and a high of 21 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura heads for 23, Christchurch 24 with clouds, and Ashburton you're set for 23 with a couple of showers thrown in. To the southern towns, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect strong westerlies with showers and 15 degrees. The Catlins is also set to be windy and wet, but heads for a high of 16 degrees. Heading to central Otago, where you're set for strong northwesterlies with some high cloud. Wanaka hits 18, Queenstown 17, Alexandra 19, while Te Anau you should plan for strong westerlies, rain and 14 degrees. To the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru have strong northwesterlies, high cloud and 20 degrees. Twizel and Amarama can both expect strong northwesterlies, high cloud, Twizel hits 19, Amarama 18. In Dunedin, some cloud tonight, looking at an overnight low of 12. Sunny periods at first tomorrow with mild northwesterlies, with cloud increasing and a few showers likely late in the day. Fresh, strong, gusty westerlies, a high of 17 and a low of 11. And cooler southwesterlies on Sunday with any showers clearing and sunny periods increasing during the day. A high of 15 and a low of 8. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with an overnight low of 12 degrees. Rain breaking to showers tomorrow with strong gusty westerlies. A high of 14 and a low of 9. More rain than showers on Sunday with strong west to southwesterly winds becoming colder. A high of 12 and a low of 8. And that's the news for this Friday and indeed the week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and a splendid weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.